oh wow, I didn't expect this plot twist to happen, for this feel good anime that I initially was just sleeping on. Hey friends, you're tuning in to the Nerdy Fans Podcast, a place for binge watchers and anime nerds that are young at heart. And today's episode is going to be a chill episode about an anime that I've recently completed watching. It's called Romantic Killer and it's licensed by Netflix. So I know this has been on the platform for quite some time, but I have been sleeping on it, unfortunately, and I only have gotten the chance to completely watch this anime fully. So, what is this anime all about? So, due to the declining birth rate in Japan, a wizard slash love cupid was sent to the real world in order to ignite or spark a romance between men and women. I mean, this is an anime, so please don't, there's no political stuff any going on, but this is what the anime is about. So between men and women, and the wizard named Riri was sent to this high schooler girl named Anzu, who has only three greatest desires. That's video games, chocolates, and her cat Momohiki. On the onset, it seems that it's shallow because of this wizard kind of thing, and then you just, inject these kinds of romance tropes on it. And I was pleasantly surprised about how the story has unfolded. And so in today's episode, we're going to talk about the top 8 reasons why you need to watch Romantic Killer. So Romantic Killer is for those people who are, of course, into romcom anime, and also for those people who would just like to pass their time, who want to have some fun, who understands the suspension of reality. As you know, this is like kind of like a slice of life slash fantasy type of rom-com, so it's really easygoing and more of like you wouldn't expect extremely intricate plot. All right, however, there are some surprising reasons. That's why this anime, for those things that I mentioned before, makes your time worthwhile in a sense, even though it doesn't necessarily have a plot. So the top 8th reason why you need to watch Romantic Killer is that it has all the romance tropes. Childhood friend romance? Check. Tsundere character romance? Check. Romance with a prince-like character? Check. So all of these tropes that you are looking for or you crave towards any other rom-com anime, this anime has all of those. It meshes all tropes quite well because this is about sparking romantic interest, right? So without delving into different types of plot inside this anime, what I'm going to say is that it totally gives you each element of those tropes without necessarily messing up the plot. So that's why it's really good if you're looking for those types of cliche kind of scenes. So, and then my top 7 reason is that it's extremely hilarious. So the dynamic between Riri and Anzu is just amazingly hilarious because our main character, Anzu, is a type of character who is not your kawaii feminine type of character, but more on the funny, tomboyish type of heroine. So if you combine this to a wizard who is also equally funny, you have a multiplication of funny scenes and hilarious scenes. Banter between Anzu and Riri is what I'm here for, actually. The slapstick, even though in this era slapstick are not that well sold anymore, but in this anime I really loved it. I like Anzu's face is drawn differently when she tries to punch or tries to bully Riri in a funny way. What I also love is that this type of drawing when Anzu gets super annoyed with Riri is I haven't seen that in any other romance anime or rom-com anime. So it's really a very surprisingly pleasant to see this type of delivery in terms of the slapstick, in terms of the jokes, and in terms of the banter between the characters. So the top six reason why you need to watch this anime is that this is an anti-heroine, which makes it so interesting. So our main character Anzu, as I mentioned before, she's not the girly girl. She's not the feminine kawaii type of heroine like any other romance anime, but she's the more fun type, tomboyish type, and the type who gives a lot of banter towards different characters, which is so refreshing. And that's why this anime sets itself apart from any other rom-com anime, in my opinion. Our Anzu is this funny, tomboyish, non-feminine type of main character, your unconventional character in a romance comedy, I would have to say. What I love about Anzu is that even though she's this portrayed to be who doesn't give an F to the world because she just loves her games, chocolates, and cat, she is actually a character with a lot of depth, and that you will see in the later episodes, which again I was pleasantly surprised of. The top 5 reason why you need to watch this anime and why I love this anime is that because this is a feel-good anime with depth. So, with any other rom-com anime or any slice of life anime, sometimes they are just there to, make you feel good. They are there to give a bit of healing type of time for you, time to heal, time to have fun, and time to relax. This anime, although it gives you all of these, it gives you more than that, because it has, as the story unfolds, you will see that there are actually depth to the character. There is a good backstory of each arc of the character, and it really surprises me, or it really surprised me that this is actually how the story unfolded. And at first I was like, oh, this is just an anime, like kind of like a wizard and having some romance and stuff, but it's actually more than that. I love how it embedded the different character arcs and the storyline that I'm gonna talk about more later on. And now down to the 4th reason why I love watching this, and I'm hoping you would watch too, is that this is a dating sim situation. And as a member of the audience, you can basically choose which character you would like Anzu to end up with or fall in love with the character yourself. So, I mean, there is that childhood trope that I mentioned earlier. There is that tsundere character trope of guy, and then there's this prince-like guy character. So I'm not going to delve a lot into those because I want you to really watch the anime. But for me, my favorite character would be the childhood friend character, I would have to say. Well, normally I would go for the tsundere character guy, but yeah, I just like the childhood friend in this anime. So normally in other anime, if you ask me to choose between the childhood friend and the character tsundere guy, I would always go for that tsundere guy because I think they're just kind of cool. But for this anime, I'm rooting for Tonta, or yeah, the childhood friend. Let me know down in the comments below which character you would like to root for our Anzu, our heroine. So yes, that's the top 4, and we're now down to the top 3 reason why you should watch this anime. And this is because it talks about societal issues. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a feel-good anime with depth. And the depth that I've been talking about is that it addresses societal issues in a way that doesn't really make it too political in a sense as well. So it makes it feel good but still touches on the societal issues, which makes you ponder as an audience that, hey, oh yeah, these things happen in society. So not only talked about the ongoing issue of declining birth rates in Japan, and it also talked about personal issues that some people have to deal with. Now, I'm not going to spoil you by telling you what those issues are, but what I can say is that for a romance anime to touch on these topics like trauma and parenting, that's pretty cool. Now down to my top two reason why you should watch this anime is the character development. Now at first, I was kind of perplexed why Kazuki behaves the way he does. Like, I mean, he is the tsundere character in this anime, and at first, like, why is he so conscious with other people looking at him? Does he really think that he's that good looking? Like, he's presented as a very extremely handsome guy in this anime, and well, I mean, just because the animation is not that great in my opinion, but I just couldn't really see it that way. But yes, he is presented as a very extremely ikemen type of character in this anime. And in the first few episodes, he was presented to be someone who doesn't want to engage in girls, who always wants to hide himself and always wants to wear a cap just so that he can hide from any other girl who wants to get his number. So I was like, this is too much, but but I was pleasantly surprised about the backstory, fellow nerdy fans. So I'm not going to talk about the backstory, but I was pleasantly surprised, and I loved how the author was able to insert that and how it unfolded without negating from the main plot. So that's pretty cool. And I also love the way that they presented the character of Anzu and her depth as a character, because I think on the first 5 episodes she was presented as like, just this girl who wants to play video games, who just loves her chocolates and who hates the wizard and always tries to banter with the wizard, or have a battle with her or him or them, because she doesn't really want to fall in love. It's not her priority, which I would have to say for high schoolers it shouldn't be. But I mean, that's quite controversial. I would also say why the Japanese government in this anime was targeting the high schoolers. I mean, come on. But anyway, just for the sake of the story, of course, to get that romance spark going on, that's why this story was presented as like this. But yeah, it's kind of like effed up, right? Like, high schoolers need to have romantic interest, and it shouldn't be a high schooler's priority to go into romance stuff anyway, but this is what we are given, so let's jam with that. I loved how Anzu was presented and the depth of her character in the later episodes, where she was actually a very good friend, actually defends her friends, and she's your ride or die kind of friend. And that's why you would fall in love more with her as a character in the anime as well. So I loved how the author embedded that seamlessly in the set of events that unfolded on this anime. Character development of other characters as well. So you have the childhood friend. You will see pleasantly surprised about the unfolding of his backstory. Oh wow, I didn't expect this plot twist to happen, for this feel good anime that I initially was just sleeping on. So yes, and now we're down to my top one reason why you should watch this anime, is that it was unexpectedly good. The mixture and balance of all the elements of love, friendship, and overcoming trauma and the odds is such well embedded in the story. I mean, like, I wouldn't really expect to get this out of this anime, because I came to watch this anime just because I want like something to pass my time by, not having to think about anything, not having to think about societal issues like bullying and stalking and all of those. But this anime gave me those kind of depth, which I didn't expect but was pleasantly surprised. And I also like that the author was able to provide a backstory for each main character in a 12 episode window without messing with the timeline nor the humor of the series. So, yes, that's my top one. And if you haven't watched The Romantic Killer, it's still on Netflix. And let me know on the comments down below what you think, or if there are any anime that is quite similar to this type of anime and I haven't watched, please let me know down below. And thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.